Hello, this is this year's workshop. I'm Josh. If you remember me from maybe last year, if you see me messing around in Colne Bay doing various ukulele things in the past. Hope you're enjoying the Uke-a-Bay this year. Obviously, it's quite different to the previous years, but despite that, I hope you're all safe and well. So this year, we're going to be learning True Love Will Find You in the End by Daniel Johnson. And through doing that, we're going to learn about timing, we're going to learn about different strumming patterns, and we're also going to learn how to do some chord variation and some finger picking. So there's a lot to cover, but we're going to take it step by step and build it up from a beginner to maybe a more intermediate level. I'll guide you the whole way, and I hope you enjoy. So to start with, I'm going to play you the song and introduce you to it if you're unfamiliar. True love will find you in the end. You will find out who's your friend. Don't be sad, I know you will. Don't give up until true love will find you in the end. This is a promise with a catch. Only if you're looking can it find you. 'Cause true love is searching too. But how can it recognize you until you step out into the light? The light. Don't be sad, I know you will. Don't give up until true love will find you in the end. So as you can see, we've split the song up into a couple of different sections, and we're going to take each of those in turn. The first section is really letting us look at the time signature and looking at the rhythm of the song. So it's in 4/4, which means we're counting 1, 2, 3, 4. And in the song, true love will find us in the end. 2, 3, 4. And we will find out who's your friend. 2, 3, 4. Keeping that counting going on, always kind of either subliminally or kind of under your breath or with your foot, really helps you just to keep a really even, continual speed throughout. We don't really want to be speeding up too much or slowing down over the course of the song, especially when we're playing in a group as well. It's really important to have a really strong kind of bass line carrying you through, and that counting is where that comes from.
New day, new shirt. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play through the first verse of the song. I'm going to put the chords up maybe here. We'll see how good my video editing is. And we're going to very slowly play through, just doing those down stromes on the 1, 2, 3, and 4. We'll go through that once, and then we'll move into introducing some other strums. But we're going to just play it as simple as possible to get the hang of it to start with. Also, if you would prefer to have the sheet music up in front of you, to play this, I'm using the ultimate guitar version of True Love Will Find You in the End, and I've transposed that into C, which you can do using the little button that they have there. So, and then together. 1, 2, 3, 4. True love will find you in the end. You will find out who's your friend. Don't be sad, I know you will. But don't give up until true love will find you in the end.
Brilliant. So I hope you followed along with that. If you feel like you need to go and practice that again, rewind to this, have another go around. But what we're going to now is move on to breaking up that quite repetitive 4-beat pattern. And what we're going to do is we're going to use subdivision, which is a really weird, scary technical term. And all that means is we're going to be playing in between those beats. So a very simple way of subdividing would be to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So every on the beat, so on the 1, 2, 3 or 4 is a down strum, and every off beat is an up strum, which would sound like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. You can see how that could very easily fit into the progression that we just played. But again, that's very repetitive, and so what we're going to do, and you probably heard this when I played the first version of the song, is we're going to play a small speedy section at the end of each phrase. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and. So pause this, have a little practice. When you've kind of got the feel for that, come back, and we're going to do another section on top of that. So there we've looked at all downstrokes, all down up, and also kind of a little mix of both. These are all examples of different kinds of strumming patterns, and often when people are learning, and when I've been teaching people in the past, people ask me, I want to learn like a whole bunch of strumming patterns, or what strumming patterns should I be learning? Really, it's more about trying to find what fits the song. However, there is the catch-all that seems, for me anyway, it's the one I use when I first approach a new piece of music and I don't want to just do downstrokes. I use this pattern, which is called, depending on where you're from, some people call it Hawaiian strum. I call it Irish folk pattern, but it goes down, down, up, down, up, and I'm going to put a chart of it here. Ooh. It looks quite complicated, and it takes a little while to get into it, but once you hit those notes, you'll find that the sound of your playing will sound so much more vibrant. So it sounds like this. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, up. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you see, there's a lot of variation there. There's it kind of brings a lot out of the music and accents some different beats to what we're used to. So we're going to go back through that first chorus again. This time, the whole way through, we're going to be using Irish folk strum. I will talk us through the first part, and then we'll play it together. Okay, together we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. True love will find you in the end. You'll find out who was your friend. And don't be sad, I know you will. And don't give up until true love will find you in the end. I hope you got on with that. If not, feel free to take time, go back and listen to that again a couple more times until it really gets stuck in your brain, because once it's stuck there, it's never leaving. So I'm sorry about that. But it's really good, and it really helps with what we're going to talk about next, which is variation. Variation is just that. It's varying the way you're playing throughout the songs. Quite often we will get a piece of sheet music and at the top it'll say strumming pattern, loads of squiggly lines, which is marvellous, but if we play that the whole way through every single song we play the same way, we end up with quite a flat kind of monotone feel to every piece of music we're playing. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the strumming patterns we've learned so far, the first one being all downstrokes like this, the second one being a mix of down, up and down, but only at the end of the phrase. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. And then lastly we're going to use our Irish folk strum, and which is of course. And what we're going to do now when we're playing the song is we're going to start with, we're going to use the most basic strum. The next phrase around, we're going to use a more complicated strum. And then lastly, we're going to end with the kind of, let's call it high intensity folk strum. And we're going to see how that elevates our playing. And all together, 1, 2, 3, 4. True love will find you in the end. You'll find out who was your friend. String pan 2. Don't be sad, I know you will. And 3. But don't give up until true love will find you in the end. So there we have a 10-minute or so breakdown of how to some different strumming patterns and how to introduce those into a song. So what we're going to move on to now is probably the second most kind of asked thing that when I asked people in a lesson what they want to know about, it's always new strumming patterns, and then secondly, how do I do finger picking? So that's what we're going to talk about next, which is finger picking. Where to start with finger picking? I think the thing that makes finger picking the easiest to start with is having a really solid hand position. Obviously, whenever you're playing, you want a really good hand position, but especially for finger picking. So as before, your chords, this fretting hand is always going to be in the same place with your thumb on the back of the fretboard, and then your fingers coming over the top to get really nice strong shapes on top. This hand, however, when you're starting anyway, I often find you want to use your bottom 2 fingers, so your pinky and your ring finger. You're going to want to rest them just below the soundboard there, and that means your fingers, they can move around however they want to, but they can't really ever move that far away from the strings. The most difficult thing about finger picking is wandering fingers, especially when I was first starting. I always found that I'd pluck a string, and I'd find when it was time to pluck that string again, my thumb would be halfway across the world. You always want to keep your fingers as close to the strings that they're playing as possible. So, what fingers are your strings going to be playing? The simplest way to start with, I found, is to assign each of your fingers and your thumb a specific string. So, our thumb is going to be playing the top string, which is our G string. It's also going to be playing our C string. Ooh, what a beautiful tone. This needs a tune. Okay, then our first finger is going to be playing the 3rd string, which is showing up really well in this light. But there we go, there it is. And lastly, our middle finger is going to be playing the bottom string. So to start with, our practice is going to be, we're going to play each of the strings from G through to A, top to bottom, in order, and we're going to be using each of our fingers to do that. And we're going to do that on each beat of the bar. So we're going to go just using our C shape for the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Depending on whether you've got a high G or a low G, that might make your ukulele sound a little bit different to mine. My ukulele is also, as you can see it, an H string, but it doesn't make any difference for this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So take a few minutes, practice running through that, trying to speed up, but just making sure that you're being really accurate with your fingers. So just again, to reiterate that, thumb is doing the top string and the 2nd string, so the G and the C. Your first finger is going to be playing the E or the 3rd string, and your middle finger is going to be playing the bottom or the A string. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a few minutes. I'm going to put an interlude up, and we'll come back and move on to something else. So I hope you've just taken that time to familiarise yourself with which finger is going to be playing which string, and getting used to that kind of different style of playing if you've not played finger picking style before. So now we're going to take a look at the pattern that we use in this song. Of course, you can use top to bottom as your pattern, but this particular pattern is similar to the Irish folk drum, in which you can use it for all manner of different songs. So here it is. If you've not seen this kind of diagram before, the crosses are where you're going to be plucking. You can see the instrument is laid out as if it's like this. That might be upside down for you. Ooh, I hadn't thought about mirroring. So you can see G, C, and A strings. So G, C, E, and A strings. And the crosses are where you'll be plucking. It goes from left to right. And what you will note is in this pattern is that you pluck the G and the A string together. All that means is you're going to be doing, if we're playing our C chord, you're going to be doing this. That's all, nothing too crazy. So I'll very slowly go through the pattern so you can hear it. So it goes outside E, C, E, outside E, C, E. And you can hear that beat going underneath. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's have a little practice of that beforehand, and then now we'll move into playing that along with the song. We'll just do the start of the second verse, I'll put the chords up, and we'll see how we get along. Costume change number 3. Let's have a go at this song together then. So we're going on 1, 2, 3, 4 with our new picking pattern. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect. Let's have a go together. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. This is a promise with a catch. Only if you're looking can it find you. 'Cause true love is searching too. But how can it recognize you unless you step out into the light? The light. Of probably all the sections that will be covered in this workshop, I think this is certainly the hardest. So take some time, repeat that section again, listen to my exquisite singing a couple more times, and just practice running through, getting a really nice rhythm into your finger picking patterns. And it's one of those things where it feels like that initial hurdle's quite high, but once you break through, you're coasting all the way, because that pattern especially, that will see you a really long way with your playing. So that's finger picking really, just practicing that, getting used to your using your fingers in new ways, and it's really rewarding way of playing, and I hope that that's something you can take on and continue to use in other songs that you'll use. The last thing we're going to talk about is something you may have noticed at the start, if you can remember back that far, where we introduced some different chord shapes and different kind of little fancy bits to our chords. This is something we're just going to quickly cover. This is probably another infinite realm of learning and possibility on the ukulele, but we're just going to cover one really small detail which works very nicely in this song. So this particular version of the song is in the key of C, and that means we can play notes from the scale of C over it to introduce some flavour into our playing. Now, if you're into theory, fantastic. If you're not, doesn't matter. All that means is we're going to take our ukulele fretboard right here. This is our C standard shape, and that means this actual place where we're fretting here, this third fret on the bottom string, this is a C note. So, and because we're playing in the key of C, we can introduce that to other chords when we're playing. For example, when we're playing our F chord, introduce that C and get a really nice extra little bit of flavour into our playing and into that chord. So that's our first kind of added little piece of variated chord there, is this F/C. The next one, and you'll notice this in the finger picking section that you'll see following this, I'll show the video again from the start, is I play down the neck here. This can be quite tricky if your fingers don't work so fast, so don't worry about going all the way up, but what you can do is if you're playing your C, leave that finger on C. You don't want to be moving things around that you don't have to, but underneath it, on the 5th fret on the bottom string, add in that note. That note there is a D. And just that tiny bit, you're barely changing the chord, except it makes it so much more flavorful and interesting and exciting. So there on the D, you can go up to here. You'll notice when I'm doing the finger picking, I'll go. So that's C, C, E, D, C into the F chord. That's space to explore. Adding the C with the F as well. You can also add the C in with the A minor. So your A minor strummed in the standard way, and then strummed adding in the C as well. And just building some extra rhythm in, not only with your arm, but also with your fretting hand as well. So what we're going to do now is we're going to replay the full song, and I'd like you to take, this is the joy of doing it online, you can take as many times as you like. Each time try and add in something different that you've maybe taken from this workshop. Maybe the first time just play it through strumming, the second time play it through finger picking. It'll all work together, sound lovely, and just really practice getting those techniques in, and see how you get on. True love will find you in the end. You will find out who's your friend. Don't be sad, I know you will. Don't give up until true love will find you in the end. This is a promise with a catch. Only if you're looking can it find you. 'Cause true love is searching too. But how can it recognize you until you step out into the light? The light. Don't be sad, I know you will. Don't give up until true love will find you in the end. And there you have it. There's all the pieces of the song put together. Hopefully some new things learned along the way, and come back to this and practice these things on their own. Take individual sections at a time, really hone in on them, and you'll find that areas of your playing will become much more improved, which is always a good thing, to be able to do new things. So lastly, also I hope you've enjoyed this workshop. If you've got any questions, I'm going to put my email address here-ish maybe, and feel free to email me if you want to find out anything else, or if there's anything else you're interested in learning. Stay safe, and I hope you enjoy the rest of Uke-a-Bay. Thank you so much for watching. Cheers.